All righty. We got some recruiting updates. Mr. Raylaun Henry is making his commitment date on November 15th. Same day we're playing Oklahoma. Part of that 2027 class, number 3 CB, number 1 in the state of Maryland. 6'2", 180, from St. Francis High School. He's got Bama, Texas A&M, Indiana, Ohio State, and Penn State as his full choices. Let's watch some highlights of him, shall we?
Sure.
Here we go.
Memo to self, Jimmy. We got to figure out how to do that. I don't have any idea how to do that.
Yeah, I've seen this package where he's an elite top 100 type player. What's up with defensive backs in that area of the country lately that seems to get Alabama's attention? He's got length. That was a good pass break up there. I think, this staff loves corners with great length. I mean, that's a thing for them. Notice that they're just not signing 5'9", 5'10" corners no matter how quick they are. That was very physical. Good physical play there. I think Alabama's physicality at cornerback has been a little questioned this year at times in the run game, but that kid showed some physicality there. That's a good hip turn. This is an elite type, national top 100 or better type prospect. Alabama has a significant shot here, and I think it's something that could happen. Some believe in the end this will be Texas A&M, who clearly recruits at a very high level and has a defensive-minded coach in Mike Elko over the offensive guy at Alabama, Kalen DeBoer. But Raylaun Henry, I think this is a guy that's very realistic. He could end up at Alabama.
Oh man, like that would be a huge win if we can get him to come to Bama.
We've recruited really well. Alabama's recruited really well at cornerback under DeBoer. Everyone thought that when Saban left, there goes the DB recruiting, because Nick Saban's one of the great DB coaches and evaluators of all time. But that has just simply not been the case at all. You could argue that under DeBoer, they've recruited the DB position as well as any position on the field. So give a lot of credit there to Mo Linguist for that. And obviously Mo Linguist is going to be involved here. This particular staff does a lot of position recruiting. So you can bet that Mo Linguist is really involved with this kid. It's not so much geographical like it's been in the past. They do a lot of position coaches recruit their position. But it's easy to be pretty impressed with Raylaun Henry, because what I see is a lot of length and physicality, and he's got the hip turn. What we don't see, and it's very difficult to evaluate just on huddle tape, is speed. You can assume he runs well, but unless you see like a wide open sprint, it's very difficult to judge that. One trick of the trade that a lot of people don't know is college coaches are very, very interested in track times. Track times interest them far more than his high school coach saying he runs a 4.4. They're interested in, hey, does he run track? They want to look at those 100-meter times, 200-meter times. That means a lot to college coaches that evaluate players that play speed positions like cornerback.
Jimmy, you mentioned the physicality of the defensive backs maybe being in a little bit of question this year, but I think that's one of the reasons you go out and get guys like Edmonds and Edwards, because both of them seem to be very physical. So maybe they're trying to change that narrative here pretty quickly. And I think somebody like Ivan Taylor, who hadn't certainly made much of a mark this year, but I think next year he may be a guy that comes in and does some more. And that's where, again, maybe I'm on an island here. I kind of thought we'd see more of Cam Calhoun at this point, because I felt like he was that physical guy, but for whatever reason, he just hasn't seen the field as much.
Yeah, I think the things that have kind of doomed him a little bit is the emergence of Dijon Lee, who's a freak from another planet, and the fact they didn't move him, inside the Husky, which I think was probably his best path to the field, but for whatever reason they kept him at corner. And the main Huskies have been Deshaun Jones and Red Morgan. So I think by not moving him to Husky, the emergence of Dijon Lee has kind of pushed Cam Calhoun down the board a little bit. But it was easy to assume you'd see more of him. And he is, per reputation and tape at Utah, he is a bit of a physical presence. I don't think Alabama's DBs as a whole are. I mean, Bray Hubbard's super physical. Keon Sabb is okay in that sense, but really it's the corners. And coming up in run support that have been questioned a little bit, especially when it was Damani and Zabi. And I think that's one of the reasons Dijon Lee has been out there instead of Damani. Is Dijon, weirdly, even though he's 3 years younger, has been a little more physical in the run sport.
And I wonder if you go back, you said Keon Savage, made me think of that Missouri game. You remember when he had a shot to just bring down Pribula and he just didn't do it. I mean, he's got to make, and I wonder if he had made that sack, would our whole narrative change? Because it'd be like, oh, our DBs are playing much more physical now. But what we've seen the last couple of games with the Keon Sabb missing that tackle there, with Deontay Lawson, I know he missed a big sack against Lenora Sellers, a little more forgivable because Lenora Sellers is also a freakazoid. So, but I'm just saying that if you make those tackles, then I think the narrative does change a little bit. But we have not been getting home on a lot of our blitzes, specifically corner blitzes.
Yeah, the blitzes are bringing pressure. They're getting pressure.
Yeah.
But they're not getting sacks and hits as much as we'd like to see. But they are getting pressure. I don't think they've been – we're not getting burned a lot, I think, because the pressure's been good.
Well, I will say I can't wait to see what he's going to do, but I'm crossing my fingers that he's choosing Bama. That's for sure. I'm ready because, like, there we go.